Podcast. I am your host, J.Nicole. Thank you for joining our weekly discussion around grief, mental health, and your overall personal wellness. The Grief Bully Podcast will serve as a vehicle to help you navigate life's journey. Be sure to subscribe, review, and share the podcast with anyone in your life that you think it will help. Let's bully grief together. What's up, beautiful people? Welcome back to another episode of the Grief Bully Podcast. I am your host, J.Nicole. Today is Monday, August the 31st. We are back in the studio, rocking and rolling with episode 55. I am certainly looking forward to this episode today. We've got a very special guest with us. I am not by myself. Before we get into that, if you have not had a chance, please go back, check out last week's episode. We had Young Kai on. She came on. She's an artist from Rhode Island, shared her story, her grief. Things got a little bit emotional, but listen, it's something that we need to do. Heal through these conversations. Go check it out. Download it on Apple, Spotify. You can check the video out also on YouTube. Go show her some love too at I am Young Kai on Instagram and social media. Before we continue to move on, I always want to thank our sponsors, BetterHelp, HELP. They are an online counseling organization. You can have counseling sessions from your home through text message, video chat. So many amazing things there that they're offering us. It's affordable. $65 per week. And when you use my link, trybetterhelp.com/thegriefbully, you will receive 10% off your first month. Again, that's trybetterhelp, HELP.com/thegriefbully. Definitely go check that out if you're having a tough time, you're not really sure what direction to move forward. Guys, listen. The Grief Bully Podcast is my baby. I love it. It's my passion. It's something that I truly enjoy doing. But it's not really about me. The reason why I love this show, I love the podcast, I love the movement is because it provides a platform for us to have different conversation, for us to move through things that we normally wouldn't talk about on an everyday basis. And it also allows people to show a different dimension and layer of themselves and actually who they are. So today we have a phenomenal guest on the show with me today. I feel super honored. I feel like this is something that should definitely be documented. We have today with us a phenomenal lyricist, rapper, artist, actor, podcast host. I mean, I'm not really sure what he doesn't do. We've got Camden's own, Camden's finest, CMD through and through. Porta Rich, what's up?
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate the warm welcome. I'm honored to be here too. I see you take your craft seriously, and we like mutual friends through Dev, like I said, and yeah, it's just definitely a healthy conversation. I think healthy conversations are like just needed more.
Definitely. Listen, I'm happy to have you here, and like you said, I'm thankful that we have a mutual connection, mutual friend, someone that can help us come together and bridge this gap. I know it's not something always easy to talk about. It's easy to talk about entertainment, to have laughs, and to go through these conversations. But I feel like one of the things that we deal with the most that is often overlooked and just becomes a part of our way of life is grief. It is loss. Especially being in the inner city and dealing with so many things. I believe you've been in Camden since you were born and raised there.
Yeah. So
I'm sure you've seen your fair share. So what are you thinking about when I'm saying, hey, do you want to come on a Grief Bully podcast and talk about grief?
I think like you said, it's kind of like easy for us to, laugh and joke and do like all the other stuff on a podcast when we like, whether we talking about, the trials and tribulations, we talking about gossip, entertainment, and things of that nature. But like, we got like some real issues, and like grief is one of them. Grief is one of them. Like, just for people who have lost people in their life, I think that's something that like, I think some people don't even like really like get to deal with it at all, because a lot of us, like I know for me, I think like I bottle a lot of stuff in still. I think I got like trust issues with like just talking to people and getting kind of like open with like personal situations like that and personal discussions. And I just also kind of like feel that it's probably like unhealthy, you know what I'm saying, to like kind of like just bottle shit in all the time, and I just understand it now, you know, in the world that we in now, and like the day and time, a lot of people was like aware of like mental health, you know what I mean, and issues like that, and I think for a long time in communities like ours, we weren't, you know, and I believe we do suffer from a lot of it, and you know what I mean, because we come from like, I know for me like just grief. I mean, when you asked me, like I said, as far as just sticking to the question, when you asked me, I just was like, I know it was something different. But again, I just felt like it was a way for me like to kind of like vent a little bit. Besides, you know, I'm not really and you know, again, I'm not really like tripping about like, you know, just being open with the people, you know what I mean, and people seeing me like a different side of me. I think to a certain extent, it's not easy. You know, it's not easy for me. And like I said, I don't, you know, like, you know, I know we got the mutual relationship or whatever, but besides that, I just did it. I don't really know why. You know what I'm saying? I just was like, yo, I'm gonna do it. It's something different, and I think a lot of the reason is just because I probably got a lot of shit like bottled in myself. You know what I'm saying? That like it's just, I don't know. It's just certain shit we don't talk to people about. Like my man is it's one of my homies' anniversary like today. It's yeah, I believe it's today. I put something up today. It's one of my like one of my like little brothers who his older brother is like my brother. Both of his older brothers is like, you know, my brothers, and um just his family. You know, we grew up together, and his little brother had got killed, the youngest out of the three, and he's probably like, I don't know, probably like 18 when he got killed, something like that, and it's just crazy. It's crazy, like grief and like mourning and just losing people. Period. It's just like it's crazy, especially like where we at and the way it happened. Like losing people like naturally, you know, from like life, like people just actually like living out their lifespan and dying like from like natural causes and things of that nature is kind of like different. That's just, you know, the life cycle. And I think just death when like kind of like lives are cut short tragically and, you know, violently, and in the different ways where we kind of like just tear ourselves apart in the cities and communities like ours, you know, where I feel
Yeah.
like our lifespans are definitely like cut way shorter than like normal, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah, no, I definitely
normal
understand
society.
that. I mean, I think it's one of those things, and you kind of segued into a lot of things that I kind of wanted to talk about with you. Is just when you are experiencing so much death and loss, and especially from those tragic ways where people are being murdered and being killed, and I'm sure a lot of it happens so frequently. I'm curious, what was like your earliest memory of dealing with a friend or someone was murdered or killed and it wasn't from like a natural cause, maybe like a older family member or something?
Um, um, I just want to be exact and correct. I mean, the close for me, it was probably I was probably around something earlier that got killed, but it probably wasn't nothing close to me. But for me, it was like I think I was I think I was like 16 when we lost our homie Lil Bruce. Rest in peace, Lil Brucey. I think I was like 16 when I was in the house. I was doing something in the house, and I remember coming to the door. Somebody knocked on my door, and I remember coming to the door, and I was, you know, addressing the person that was at my door, but over their shoulder, I seen like my homie little Brucey, like come out of the abandoned house with like one of my other little homies, Brahim, who actually got killed as well. Um, I seen them two coming out of like an old house, and they was just coming out like type looking like something was going on, but not really. And I was doing something though. Again, I was doing something before this person had knocked on my door, so I just didn't pay it no mind, and I went back to go do what I was doing. And I remember like 15 minutes later, like my mom came screaming in my room, trying to like block me from like walking out the room. And she just kept screaming and crying and was like, no, don't go outside, don't go outside. And, she was scaring me. And I didn't know what was going on, and I just wanted to know what was going on. And I think I eventually like just got kind of like past my mom, like moved my mom. And she told me, she was like, they killed Brucey. And I ended up like moving my mom out the way. And I ran around the corner where the shit happened at, because I just like seen my man come out the old house. It was like 15 minutes. And right after that is when all that shit happened, and my mom came running upstairs. So, and when I walked around the corner, it was my homie, and he had a hole in his face, like a big hole in his face, man. Just
you saw that.
Yeah. I saw that. And it's crazy because I was like, I don't want to say like, God, I believe in like God wholeheartedly. I'm Muslim. I believe in Islam. I believe in God wholeheartedly. Like, and I believe that everything happens in life for a reason. And it's crazy because I know that all of that stuff is trauma. These are the same things that like Army veterans and people like this, like come home from like the service, and they need like care for, like mental health care and different type of care for. So it's the same situation. But it's crazy for me because what I was gonna say was just, I was on probation at like an early age, where like I did a lot of different things when I was on probation, like their programs and stuff. They made me go to stuff and made me do stuff to try to like kind of like correct my behavior or install fear in you so you won't go the wrong way. Like I know they had like scare straight programs, and I remember doing all that. But I remember going to the hospital on a trip where they took us through trauma, and they actually was showing us, and I don't know if this was before or after I had seen my first like actual murder, like watch somebody die, and was like right there. You know what I'm saying? But when I was on that trip to like Cooper Hospital trauma unit, like we had seen like a lot of like gunshot pictures. Like they were showing us different pictures of like different tragedies, whether they was car accidents, people getting shot in the head, brain blown out. And, I was just like blown away by that. You know what I mean? It was kind of like horrific and I don't know, like just, I don't want to say amazing, but just, it was just crazy at the same time. And like fast forward, or I don't know if it was before or after, but just to get back to that moment when I like watched my friend like just bleed out like that. And then after that, I think that was probably like the worst, probably one.
Before we go forward with that, I have a couple of things about that part, because I'm thinking, all right, a 16-year-old man, he walks up, he sees his friend bleeding out. How does life change from there? So that's my thing is this, and this is what the grief bully is about, is that we have those things, and like you said, it becomes PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, when we see those things, but then we have to continue on with life, and then that becomes the first, but far from the last. How does that change you as a man, as a young man at that point? Can you remember feeling a change, more anger, or did you just kind of keep going? Sorry, I don't know if anybody's ever asked you this.
No,
before,
You're doing an amazing job. No, I wouldn't have came here, if I felt like I was going to come here like just all guarded up and you know what I'm saying, like not willing to like kick it with you. But I think I'm a good person. I'm a good person, and I don't want to say that I instantly like became like evil or nothing. But I think it definitely like numbs you. It numbs you, like just, understanding and knowing that you living in an environment like that kind of like the environment turns you into that. And the environment can like, because the kid that I'm talking about, like Brucey, rest in peace. Like I was worse than him. I was badder than him, right? Like, I remember when we all first was coming into the streets. I remember when he came off the porch You know, how they say we all came off the porch. I was a good kid before I got out in the streets. I just, you know, I mean, I used to get into small stuff in school, small scuffles and stuff, but nothing like what I turned into. And he was the same way, a good kid, like that I remember. And it's crazy because the streets, like I remember like going to jail and I came home, and when I came home, he was like totally different. He was like into like the fighting. It was fighting going on. It was like guns around, you know, things of that nature. And then like not too long after that, you know, yeah, he lost his life. And I think it just numbs you. I think that was the first time. I think I was just like, wow. I think like a half hour later, we was trying to like beat up like the guy friends who did it. Like, you know what I mean? Like we was instantly violent, man. We was misguided. We didn't have no guidance. You know, I think a lot of our parents tried what they could. Some of us came from single parent homes. You know, me, I was fortunate. I had my mom and my dad. But again, a lot of what I was around, you know, I was still a product of my environment. You know, and a lot of what I was around was like, you know, and don't get it wrong, my mom and them came from poverty too. My mom and dad come from nothing. You know what I'm saying? And they families, you know, so I was just around a lot of different stuff also though, a lot of single, you know, broken homes and, you know, kids that was going through different things. And yeah, it was just it was crazy, but we built bonds. We built bonds where like when something like that happened, you know, even you kind of like even became rebellious to like your family, to like your mom and your dad, you know what I mean? Because it's like, nah, you can't relate. Like you don't understand, I just lost my friend.
That's
No,
deep right there. You don't understand. I just lost my friend, and you're at 16, and
yeah,
we don't have conversations so much more beyond that because then it's like, okay, that's the bad kid. Oh, he's mean. He's this. He's a problem. He's a savage. But like, why did that person become like that? How did they become like that? And I feel like, in one hand, we could think, well, is it too late for these conversations that we're having right now because you had a certain life that you lived, but at the same time hopefully his conversation will help other people know that, hey, listen, when you dealing with that type of loss, like you got to talk about that. Like you said in the beginning, you bottle things up. So
yeah,
so so Porter Rich bottling things up. How does that bring us to? I know you lost a couple of people that these are your friends. I understand that, but like
right.
family,
Yeah, 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 yeah. Nah, my biggest loss, my biggest most recent loss, is probably like not probably. But I lost my dad in '09. You know. But that was kind of like, you know, my dad lived a, you know, fairly long life. He lived to about 65, you know, and I just don't question God. You know what I mean? Like it's hard. Certain stuff is hard. Certain stuff don't get no easier. You know, we just pray for strength. And but after that, like um I lost my son mom recently. And man,
take your time.
it's crazy.
Yeah, let it out. Whatever you feel, whatever you thinking.
It's just, man, just life. And uh, again, just sometimes uh, it don't get no easier.
If you was going to write a verse right now, if you was going to spit a verse right now with those feelings, what would it be?
I can't even. I can't. I can't even find those words. Like, I still like, my dad been gone for like, uh, like 10 over 10 years, and my dad, was the rock of the family, so it was a tough blow. But again, it was life. Um, my son, mom, just it's, it's different, and I never even did like a song for like my dad because it's just like something like that would be like just special. So I wouldn't like just do anything. But yeah, I ain't even like ready like those conversations.
It's tough.
I feel like uh that's what they would be. They would be like conversations.
Mm.
And I feel like yeah, I'm just not ready for that. But both both of those situations was like unexpected. And that's what was kind of tough about them. Like my dad, he was good. We knew he had like some minor health issues. Like my mom got health issues now, and it was like her health issues now are more concerning than my father's health issues then.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, my dad was a man who loved his kids and just he went hard for us and he rode for us. So it was just unexpected. Think it was like a snowstorm or something. He like tried to shovel snow and people offered him help and everything. My dad was just a working man. Like he liked to work. He went out like how he liked to live his life. But yeah, it was tough because he had just like dropped me off or something. He used to still be giving me rides and stuff because I was trying to get my license. I was waiting to get my license and he didn't want me to drive and mess up my license. And he had just dropped me off like that Friday. And I was like locked in the house. It was a snowstorm. I was like locked in my apartment. And that Sunday my brother called me, told me the news, and that was tough because it was unexpected. You know what I'm saying? And I never got to really like but my son mom was like 10 times. And it's just crazy because it ain't even me. It really like ain't even about me. It's about my son, man. I can't even relate to that. I can't even relate to that. So
Yeah, that's
I
deep.
I got homies that they can, and I'm grateful for that. People like Garnett, and shout out to him. Who don't offer like just whatever conversations. But it's tough. It's tough. It's probably like the toughest blow that I've been dealt.
in my life. And I've been dealt a lot of tough blows. You know, I've lived a hard life. And you know, sometimes a lot of people like lose their cool. Sometimes a lot of people like really like break, you know, behind life and behind losing people.
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of like part of I know my son mom was going through a lot. You know, she was going through a lot of pain herself that she, you know, took on the chin. Didn't want to like put nobody else through. And it's just tough, man. It's tough. And again, it's more about my son, man. Like I just wish I could like take his pain. Like sometimes I just, you know, I look at him and I know it. Like I ain't no psychiatrist. I ain't no, you know, I ain't no counselor. I ain't none of that. But I know, you know, I know what I know, man. You know, and that's my little man and his mom. Like him and his mom, they had a great relationship. You know, she was going through a lot, and they still had a great relationship. You know, she loved my son, and for me, like in my situation, like a lot of people don't know and understand because we live in we just live the wrong way sometimes. You know, we've been taught like just to kind of like just always be negative with each other. You know what I'm saying? For so long, you know. And I kind of like used to feel like when my son mom passed, like a lot of people like probably from the outside looking in used to think like probably or would feel like, you know, like probably like it didn't bother me or it didn't really like affect me. You know what I'm saying? Because me and my son mom, like we, you know, we was going through little things. You know, you know, 7
Like a
years.
lot of
You know,
people do.
almost 7 full years. You know, we was operating and co-parenting. You know, since we met, and you know, we ended up having a child together, and we was going through things. You know, she had a lot of things she was going through. You know, I had things I was going through, and sometimes we would, you know, bump heads and have disagreements and things like that. But for the most part, I knew she loved my son, and I always just, you know, kept that on the forefront that she loved my son. She showered my son with love, and that's something that my son, like, you know, he appreciated, and I knew that he loved, and it was special to him. And I would never, like, you know, try to violate that. You know what I mean? So the other shit, it was, you know, we used to argue, like, honestly, just like material shit and dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, typical shit, you know, that, like, I feel like some of these designs, you know, be having us doing. You know what I mean? Some of these, you know, like, we, you know, because you would get into it over child support. It would be child support when there's monetary situations going on and, you know, just different things. But I don't want to get personal because my son mom ain't here no more. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really want to speak on it too much as far as like her situation. You know what I mean? Because she not here like to speak for herself. But we had gotten way better though. We had gotten way better. You know, we was working on our relationship. We kept working on it, and again, she just had some other things, like some life situations that she just handled it, you know, her way, which is something like, you know, unfortunately we gotta respect because for me anyway, how I live my life, you know, your life is your gift, you know, from God. And people, you know, they do what they want with it. God asks us what to do with it. Don't get me wrong. You know, and I believe that as well, you know, to do the right thing and the whatever, but at the same time, it's your life. And yeah, like just it's crazy, man. It's crazy. I can't like some days are harder than others. And like I told you, I think I definitely like that's why you see me in here like this. Because that shit just be coming out of me at times on my own anyway. Like I just be riding around sometimes, like by myself. And that shit like just come pouring out of me sometimes. Sometimes it might be like a music, you know, cause music is like, you know, shit that like touches the soul and certain records and shit, you know. It might speak on that type, you know, that type vibe. that shit'll break me, man, because I know my little man going through that. He 10, you know, he been going through that for the last 2 years. And I can only imagine, man. I can only imagine, man.
Well, I will say that since you have expressed all this, I mean, I don't know how you feel so much right now, but at least I could say by you expressing this and talking about your grief and seeing how important it is, I think that you're going to be able to be a good support. I'm sure you already are to your son, but as far as helping him navigate, I know you can't relate, but I'm sure you realize that bottling things up and silence isn't going to be the way. So by you coming on here, I mean, it take a lot of strength. Like you're sitting here essentially talking to a stranger and then all the people that's going to be able to see this and hear it. But here, the real truth is that we go through all these losses and we go through these things, and some impact us more than others. But you said that people would assume that it didn't affect you based on what, though? Just because you're not saying to them that you're hurt?
I just know we like, you know, we just negative sometimes, man.
Yeah.
It ain't even really too many other ways to put it, man. We just negative. We more into like talking shit. Oh, excuse my language. I don't even know if we're allowed to curse.
It's a little late for that, Porter. We're good.
Right.
Keep going.
Oh, my bad. But
yeah,
good. Like, you know, like people be talking trash. Like that's what we do. You know what I'm saying? And even in those situations, it's crazy because even in those situations, you would think that people would be respectful. You know what I mean? In situations where people losing their family. And I ain't talking about me. I'm talking about in general. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about me. Because my skin is thick. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just here, you know, and this, again, I knew this was going to happen. And I knew this was going to happen. Again, I be riding around and this shit be pouring out of me because I don't talk to nobody. I don't talk to nobody about it. I don't, you know what I mean? But sometimes for me, I also be believing and feeling like that shit be like scary for me. You know what I'm saying?
What's scary about it?
Just me like bottling all this shit in. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes I be really like upset. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just be upset because my life already hard. And I be feeling like we live in an environment where like we've been trained to kind of like somewhat be negative towards each other and be evil with each other. You know what I mean? When it like, especially over like dumb shit, you know what I mean? Money, the main thing, money, like friends and everything over money. Like money is crazy. Money is ridiculous. For real, for real. Yep. Like, but I be upset, man. I be mad. And, you know, I ain't no different from nobody else, man. But, like, I've been through a lot, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've been through a lot, lived my whole life in jail, like a lot of my life in jail. And it's all based on me and my decisions. So I don't be mad at nobody else. Like, you know what I'm saying? I be trying, like, I'm actually a good person. You know, and strive to like try to continue to be a good person. You know, but
yeah, that's a part of grief too, though, being incarcerated and losing parts of your life to an extent. I mean, I don't say necessarily losing parts of it because you still are living your life, but the way that you might have wanted your life to be in that way. I mean, I think that's something that gets overlooked too. As we think about grief, we only think about the actual death of people, but when you get incarcerated, you know, you're losing a lot of your life too and your freedom.
That shit, like, that shit is what it is, man. They said that shit modern day slavery. It is. It is, man. I'm telling you. We used to be down there. I was down in prison. I remember they had like, it was a couple white racist officers. I know these motherfuckers was like Ku Klux Klan, like on they time off. They used to be having people down there, like when it rained, they used to give people mops and tell guys to mop the grass. It used to be raining. And they'd tell guys to mop the grass like it was crazy. Like, and you know, they did what they wanted. You know, they did what they wanted. They would beat you. They would beat you till you heal. They would take your phone calls, you know, cut all your communication off after they do stuff like that. And yeah, it's definitely all traumatizing. It's all traumatizing, man. And I've been through all of that, man. I've been choked out by like police. You know, I spoke about that before. Like where it was like racist police. It wasn't like them trying to like arrest me. Like I was arrested already and they down at the station taking turns choking me. Like 3 white boys. Like, and I ain't, this ain't nothing against white people. I love all people, you know. But in this situation, yes, it was 3 white boys that was like taking turns choking me, like as if this was legal. Y'all like police officers. You know, that's how like what I see now is no surprise to me.
How do you still feel? How do you still feel worthy? Like, how do you still have self-worth after the life that you lived? You said your life was already hard. Now you're going through this. A lot of it based on your own decisions too. But how do we still see the Porta Rich that we see now? How do we see the upbeat personality, the positive person, just hard work and still going after? Like, how didn't you lose your light?
God, man, God. It ain't me, it's God, man. It ain't my plan, it's God's plan, man. You know, and if a person like, you know, because I come from the street, and if anybody know me, like, they would always know that my family was like always like just, you know, spiritually, you know, and spiritually connected, and eventually, you know, we become our own people, our own individual selves, you know, when we leave our nest from our families, our mothers and our fathers, and we start to like, you know, just kind of like enlighten ourselves and just search for like the truth, you know, what you feel is the truth and what, you know, fits your lifestyle, you know. And for me, it's just always been like, it's always been prayer involved. It's always been me believing in a higher power, you know. And yeah, I've been through some wild shit. Like if I sat here and told you like all the times like I could have lost my life, like it's I can't count them on both hands. I could count, like I need more hands to count them. Like how many times I really like kind of like just came close encounters with death. And I think it's be like God's plan, man. That's why I'm kind of like just kind of like letting like kind of like God like, you know, like navigate the way, because it's just like this. Like this is something like I normally probably like wouldn't do or wouldn't have done. And I'm just like, yo, you know, I got a platform, and I think men be scared to like open up, you know, in situations and as far as this type shit, you know, because as men, again, we spoke about this on our podcast, you know, just men and the testosterone thing, and, you know, how they have us really like, you know, stereotyped and kind of like programmed where we got to be a certain way. A man can't like show emotions. A man can't be emotional. A man is Superman. He can't be hurt. He can't show like, you know, that he feels some type of way about something. You know what I'm saying?
But you're hurt, right?
I lost a lot. I lost a lot, man. I lost my dogs. Like it all depends how you is. Like I guess if some people like really like don't love hard, then it probably don't hurt those type people when they lose shit. But for somebody like me, I love hard. You know what I mean? When I rock with you, like I love hard. And everybody who I could think about like that was close to me that I lost, like my dad, my baby mom, like my man Gerarld, like my little homie Brahim, little Theo, like little Brucey. They was all good people. They was good kids. And don't get me wrong, like I said, Brucey was a good kid. He got caught up in the streets. People was beating him up first. People was doing shit to him. It was wolves that probably like got the cycle. It continues. It was wolves that was probably good kids that got beat up in their neighborhoods, in their area. They ended up somehow coming in my area, you know, eventually meeting, you know, we all bump heads. It's the jungle. And they eventually ended up beating up my guy who was a good kid. And eventually, you know, you all get tired, because how many times is you going to get beat up before you say, yo, I got to stand up for myself and do something. You know what I'm saying? So it was just like a repeated cycle. But yeah, all good people that I lost, man. So yeah, like beyond hurt, man. Beyond hurt for me, man, you know, because I just love good people, you know what I'm saying? Especially my people. You know, and I know anybody should. I just feel other people's pain too. I think like when I see other people like losing people, I know what it feel like. So I kind of like share that with them. Like, dang, you know what I'm saying? And it could be like a perfect stranger. Like I see these things that are happening now, like you know, George Floyd and the most recent situation, Jacob Blake. Come on.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough.
Man.
I mean, it's tough to definitely see all that. I mean, it's a tough thing. I love everything that you said. I mean, I think so many people, especially men, I think that especially in our communities are going to see like, man, like, you know, a guy like that. And when I say a guy like that, I'm talking about stereotype and all. He probably hard, he tough, he you know, to actually come on here and express himself. That's what it's about. So people have asked me, oh, do you think that people talking on a podcast or just having a podcast is really going to make change. And my belief is, yeah, I think it is. I think it's going to show people that your feelings are valid. And you have to give your story legs. And something that you've been through, you got to talk about it because you're going to help encourage and inspire the next person that's going to be like, you know what? Yeah, man, I really like Porta Rich. I like his music. I like how he flow. He went through losses and he was upset about it. He expressed his emotions. He went through that. And so that's really going to help us all together. I do want to bounce into our In Love and Memory segment, which is kind of where we were going anyway, where we like to highlight people that have lost their lives, especially the loved ones of the people who are on my show, our guests. So this week, our In Love and Memory segment is going to go out to your loved ones. I know we talked about it where you would just kind of, shout them out.
Yeah, like, again, man, I just want to shout out my guys, from my area, my guys from my block, man. More like my brothers, Lil Theo, actually, they all like nearby. Like Lil Theo's anniversary is like today. And, shout to Theo, shout to his family. My prayers and condolences always to his family, and yeah, man, my man Gerarld, his birthday coming up. And, it's always difficult around that time. I just got off the phone with his daughter earlier, and that was over like what? That was over 20 years ago almost. And it's still tough, man, when when people, it's good people and you just love people. And yeah, my man Gerarld, everybody else from the block, man, Lil Brahim, Lil Brucey and just my baby mom, I know my baby mom is with us, is, watching over us, you know what I mean? And my dad as well. And just all my homies, they, they family, my homies who just lost their mom, my prayers and condolences go out to my homies, my homie Wardy and my homie Airport, and to everybody, man, my family, and anybody else who lost people into the family of Jacob Blake and George Floyd and, the rest of the innocent people that's, been killed by just, crooked police and
yeah, no, definitely
crazy stuff,
from
man.
us, from myself, the Grief Bully podcast, we extend our love and condolences to you, to everybody that you mentioned as well. It's super important to me. I want to go into our Inspirational Boost, which is a part of our show where we just like to give a quote, little something each week. Is sponsored by Adina J Designs. They make, create, and inspire us to decorate apparel with signs, custom tumblers, and all that. Follow them on social media at ADENAJAYDESIGNS. And our quote for this week is, don't compare your life to others. There's no comparison between the sun and the moon. They shine when it's their time. That's bars.
Yeah,
Heavy,
heavy.
Yeah, don't compare your life to others. There's no comparison between the sun and the moon. They shine when it's their time. And what I would add to that is, if the sun and the moon both shine, then we as people, men, women, no matter what color, race you are, we all cry and we all hurt too. So it's super important not to compare there. Got two more questions for you before we get out of here, Porta. One of them would definitely be, if you had to choose a color for your grief, what would it be and why?
Probably blue. Probably blue, like the blue that's on the heart on your head. Probably blue, just because, like, I don't know, like, again, I feel like I'm numb to, like, so much. I just feel like I'm cold to so much. And blue is, like, my favorite color anyway. You know what I mean? And I just feel like sometimes I'm, like frozen. Like, I be getting calls like, yo, such and such passed away. I be like, damn. And don't get it fucked up. Like, it hurt. Mm-hmm. Like, again, shout out my homies Marley and Oz and them. They mom just passed away. Miss Wanda, shout out to them. Condolences to the family. It hurt, when you get even those calls. Like, it hurt. But I still just be like, because I just feel like I still understand, like, life, and it goes on. My mom, thank God I got my mom still here. My mom still tell me to this day right now, whenever I because sometimes she'll get in her bag and start venting about life, and she get talking about her illnesses, and she not ready to go, and I just be kind of like, it make me kind of like instantly like, Mom, well, like, what are we going to do? Because I be trying, like, I live my life to be prepared for death. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know this, I understand, like, the cycle. Again, naturally, the cycle. You know what I'm saying? But it's like when my mom get in that bag, I used, it make me like even colder where I'd be like, Mom, like, I don't even know what I'm going to do when something like that happens to you. So I don't even like talking about it.
Yeah.
Because I be very like, tell my mom, like, I'm going to be like down there right behind you. God forbid.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because I have children that I got to be here for and fight for. And she tells me that. She always bounce back in the conversation like, no, you got to stop talking crazy and woo, 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 woo. So I would definitely say Blue, man. My whole situation is just, and a lot of people don't know that, man. It's crazy because I still manage to wake up every day and muster up a smile and, and strive forward and try to be a good person and a positive person, man, and it's not easy, man. It's not easy, so I hope that, and I did this for that reason. Like I want people to know, like, it's okay if you a man out there. I don't care how tough you is. I don't care how gangster you is. I don't care how much of a killer you is. Like, that's not even important no more. We've been taught that shit was like so important for so long, and it's really like so toxic. You know what I'm saying? Like, so toxic. Like, we should all be like seeking like some type of relationship with like a higher power or yoga or meditation or some type of, energy besides motherfucking trying to be the guy with the most kills in the room, which amongst your own people. You know what I'm saying? So I just want, everybody to know that, listen, man, it's all right to, to talk to somebody. You know what I'm saying? And today, me personally, Porta Rich, I chose to come here and, to do this with J.Nicole, and do this here at, SFX Studios, where I know his family at. But, yeah, man, just...
We appreciate you. We appreciate having you on the show. I definitely want to tell you that it was great. It was good. It was raw. It was everything that I would have hoped that it would have been, because I just wanted it to be a platform, really, in a space for us to have those tough conversations. Where can we follow you, find you, your music? I'm not gonna put you on the spot and ask you to spit. I did hear that freestyle on DJ Caesar, but I'm not even gonna do that. I just want to know where they can follow you and get you your music.
Yeah, they could definitely go check me out, man. We just put a new freestyle out for those that want to hear like some bars. It's crazy. It's my guy DJ Caesar, new show, Vibing with DJ Caesar. We just got posted today by The Source. Shout out to The Source. So we just on The Source for people to go check that out as well. But just capital PORTA RICH, man. It's Porta Rich everything. They could go to portarich.com, and check out the site. Check me out on the Devin Wade show. Every Tuesday, every Saturday on Sound Only Saturdays. Check me out on Chase Street. That's on Amazon Prime right now. Check me out on The Recession. Season 1 is on YouTube, sizzling. We got season 2 working, as well as like Chase Street. Some more work coming soon as well. And the music, I'm all over, man. Just get your Pandora station popping, man. Pandora Porter, that's what they call me. I got a lot of aliases, you know what I'm saying? I know after this, they're going to be like, oh, this nigga was crying. Like, he pouring Porter. He like pouring tears, Porter.
Look, I'm definitely making a video clip of the tears.
Oh, they gonna have me looking like Jordan out here. This shit is crazy. but I'm cool, yo. I'm cool. Like I said, man. Listen, I don't be tripping, man. I fear law, man, and I tell people, like, if it's something you gonna fear, man. Listen, fear energy greater than yours. Because we all human. You bleed and breathe like I do. You know what I'm saying? And
definitely. Listen, that was a good way to wrap this up. It's been a great episode. I feel honored and blessed to have had him on the show today. We're going to stay connected. Look out for the episode. I mean, what am I talking about? The episode is out right now. Definitely share this with somebody. Do all those good things. You already know I'm your host, J.Nicole. I love to hang out the most on Instagram. Just follow me there. If you want to be a part of the Blue Heart Gang, the text gang, yes, you can text me now, 856-341-9950. It's going to be in the show notes. It goes directly to me. It's not a robot, but it allows us to have that one-on-one conversation about heavy topics like grief and loss. My main goal is to make sure that you know that you're not alone. So again, like I said, I hang out the most on Instagram. Follow me there at I_am_J.Nicole. Guys, so next time, you already know. Love and light. Peace.
Peace.